Yo, what's up, guys? I know we haven't been doing these as much lately, but I got another gameplay review for you guys. This is a pretty interesting game. I feel like there's going to be a lot to take from this. This is a killer who slugs a lot, which slugging, I think, is a big thing that goes into playing killer, and it's a really good thing to do if you're a skilled killer. So this is a good video to teach you about when to do it, when not to do it, the benefits of it, all that good jazz. So let's hop right in and check it out. Let's go. All right, guys, let's do this. This is a rank 11 killer. This is a Myers at rank 11. Okay. Now we got Gas Heaven, which is a pretty tough map. Also, the title of this video is "Too Much Slugging as Myers?" ? Newish killer. So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of slugging going on, which is good. That's actually really good because I have a lot to say about that. I think slugging is a really important strategy, and knowing when to do it and when not to do it is a big part of learning how to play killer well. So I'm kind of excited to review this. First off, let's just talk real quick about what you're running. Both of your add-ons are these are like the go-to stock add-ons. That's the moderate and then the slight, or I think it's the considerable and the moderate. I can't remember. These are like the two best stocking add-ons. They basically both increased your rate that you stock people so you can get to tier 3 faster. You're running monitor and abuse, which makes your heartbeat smaller, which is good on Myers. That tier 2 should be 7 meters, so when you're in tier 2, your heartbeat will be really small, but then when you're in chase, it'll be really big. Barbecue and chili is pretty obvious. I mean, that's extra blood points plus auras. You have whispers, but only tier 2 whispers, which is kind of shitty. That's kind of bad. The fact that this is only tier 2 makes it kind of bad, gonna be honest with you. Not the worst perk in the world to run, but definitely not anywhere near as good as whispers 3. That like 8-meter difference from tier 2 to tier 3 is a big deal. So that's gonna light up if you're within 40 meters of somebody, which is a pretty big distance. And you have save the best for last too. So save the best for last is an interesting perk on Myers. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it, but I also feel like you might just not have a lot of perks because a lot of your perks are only tier 2. So we'll just see how it goes. Okay, let's go. One person has no mither on the other team as well. That's pretty important to keep in mind, especially if you're going to be slugging. That guy has no mither. So first things first, you walk over here, your whispers clicks on, you see some people. Good. You got to get out of tier 1 like ASAP. Just stalk that guy. Just stalk him. You didn't even have to get that close. You should have just stalked him. Okay. I'm already going to back up. As Myers, unless you're like going out of your way to play stealthy Myers and staying in tier 1 or whatever, right? Like unless that's what you're trying to do, you should be trying to get out of tier 1 ASAP. Like the whole like being in tier 1, sorry, that circle was too big. Being in tier 1 is bad. You're like really slow. You run like barely faster than the survivors. You can't get bloodlust. You can't lunge. You have like a really short stubby swing. It's just all around like not good to be in tier 1 unless you're trying to stealth. The only thing that's good about it is your low terror radius. But on most maps and you know in most games, you're not going to want to stay in tier 1. You're going to want to tier up ASAP. So like this person doesn't see you. She has no idea where you are right now. Like you could have like backed up and like you didn't have to come as far forward as you did. You could have just stalked her. Like you should just be trying to get out of tier 1 ASAP. So like you come up here and you see her, right? And you're stalking her. And like right here, she doesn't know where you are. Like you should be chilling and stalking her. Like you could have stood right here and stalked her. But instead you like get like right up, but you like run up to her and she's like, "Oh fuck." And then now she's like freaking out and she starts running away. But you could have stalked her so much more. Even right here, you could have just held the stock. I mean, it's fine though. You still are stalking her, so it's all good. Like here, you shouldn't even go for a hit. Don't even go for a hit. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Tier 1 Myers is fucking useless. Do not even bother going for hits as tier 1 Myers. It is fucking pointless. You actually like let her get distance on you right there by swinging. Whereas if you would have stalked her, you would have been almost tier 2. You would have been like 3/4 of the way probably. There you go. Keep stalking. There we go. That's kind of the goal with Myers, is just to get the hell out of tier 1 ASAP. So you're gonna I would have stayed on her. You don't know if you're gonna be able to find somebody else. You should have. You're almost there, dude. Look, you have like this much. You're like 30. You're like 75% of the way there. You're probably more than 75% of the way. You just need this much more, dude. Bam, there you go. I finished it off for you. There. Like you need that much more. You could have stayed on that guy to get to tier 2. It's really important to get to tier 2 fast because that makes your move speed like significantly faster. You go from like, I think tier 1 Myers is something like 4.1 meters per second, but I'm not 100% sure the exact number. And you jump to like 4.6. So you jump a big move speed buff when you go from tier 1 to tier 2. Keep in mind, survivors are 4.0. I feel like I'm doing this every episode, but survivors run at 4.0. So you're normally 4.1, you jump to 4.6. That's a sufficient, like that's a big jump in speed. So like getting to tier 2 is a big deal. It even just helps you get around the map faster too. Like even just like what you're doing right now where you're like leaving to go find someone else, even this would have been easier if you were at tier 2. There's a guy right there. You can stalk him from here. Stalk him. Just stalk him from here. Are you going to try to sneak up on him? Okay, I guess you're going to try to play stealth Myers. I see what you're doing here. But like even this, if you get a grab, it'll be worth it. But yeah, like more times than not, you're not going to get a grab. I mean, that was okay though. You downed the no mither guy. You happen to get lucky that the no mither guy was there. If the no mither guy wasn't there, then you would have just got a hit and that was it. But either way, you got him down, which was good. You should stalk him to tier 2. Someone just broke a totem behind you too. I heard it. There you go. Good job. Tier 2. Someone broke a totem right behind you. There's a free hit right behind you. I don't know if you heard that or not. But here, listen. Like listen for the snapping of a bone sound. Bam, right there. That was someone breaking a totem like right behind you. So you could have turned around and hit someone too. Either way, you stalk this guy a bit, and then you kick the gen, and you have to pick this guy up. He has no mither. Yeah. You pick him up to hook him because he has no mither. Good. I don't know if they have flashlights or not, but if they do have flashlights, you got to be really careful just picking up like that without facing walls. If they had a flashlight there, you could have got flashlight saved. That's something that's just good to get into the habit of with every killer is just facing walls whenever you pick people up. Yeah, the dude came back to tap the gen. They usually do that. Like, usually if you kick a gen and someone sees you kicking the gen, they'll usually come back to tap it. So you find this dude. You could have stalked him there. Okay, here's the thing that's really strong about Myers that you had an opportunity to do here, okay? This dude is near the unhook, right? So, like, as long as you stay, like, relatively close to him, he can't really get the unhook without one-for-oneing, right? Like, if at any point he goes for the unhook, you hit him, which cancels the unhook, and then he can get it, but then you could just down him. So, like, no matter what, as long as you stay close to him, he can't get the unhook without going down himself, right? And because of that, you kind of have the power of, like, you kind of have this power of the fact that you don't really need to hit him right now. You could stalk him. Like, you can stalk this guy and get your tier 2 to, like, 99%. Like, that should be your goal a lot of the time, is to get your tier 2 to, like, right about there. Like, it should be, like, right around there. So that way, you can just, like, tap it and then go to tier 3, right? Like, that's, like, the basic Myers strategy. So you could have stalked this guy and not hit him. And just got your stalk close. Instead, you hit him. Someone else goes for the unhook. You try to down the dude that got unhooked, but he had borrowed time. They usually do. So I'm not gonna give you too much shit for that play, because like, had the dude not had borrowed time, that would have been free map pressure. But because you did have borrowed time, you didn't. And this dude was full health anyway, so it's not like you're gonna down him. This guy's going to the middle of nowhere. Just you can stalk him. This was a bad play too, okay? This guy literally ran out to the middle of nowhere. There's nothing out here. He throws his pallet, and then he just runs. Like, there's nothing out here. Like, look. Like, we can look right here. There's nothing. Like, the closest thing is Shaq over here, and then the thing that you just left, right? He runs to this rock. Like, what the hell is he doing? There's nothing here. Nothing. This is a dead zone. This is where you go if you want to become dead. D-E-D, dead. Deader than shit. So what you should have done here is you can actually zone this guy, right? Like, you can, like, kind of just go back and forth, like, back and forth and back and forth, and basically he won't be able to run past you because you'll be constantly keeping him behind this rock, and then you could just keep stalking him. Honestly, I don't even think you had to do that. I think you could have just stalked him even the way you played it. But either way, you should have stalked this guy and one-shot down him, because you hitting him, like, you not popping your tier 3 and instead just hitting this guy, gives him a speed boost. Like, he now has a speed boost, and you have to do like your weapon wipe animation, or well, I guess Myers doesn't wipe it, he kind of just looks at it, but still, like, now he's gone. Look at him, he's gone. Like, now he can get the pallets and windows. Like, that could have been a down for you right there. That could have been a down and a hook, but now instead you're like letting this dude get to all these pallets, and now you're gonna have to start kicking these pallets, and it's just a mess, man. Like, you could have had this guy down so long ago. This is this whole chase is just unnecessary. This all could have been ended so long ago. This dude is not staying at pallets for whatever reason. You go for a swing there, you don't get it. That was good to go for that though. It was pretty close. This dude is not staying at pallets. This is actually really smart of you to not break these pallets, although they might come back to bite you in the ass later. But she's not staying at pallets. She's just throwing them and running. So you can just go around him and not waste the time breaking them, which is really smart. All right, and then you finally get a down on her here, which is good. Good. Again, that whole chase, though, like, how long was that? You could have had her down. That was like a whole minute of a chase. It was around 210 that you had her at the rock. This whole like minute of a chase that just happened shouldn't have happened. That was a whole minute of 3 people doing generators. Generators take 80 seconds. So hypothetically, if all 3 of these survivors were each on an individual generator, that's 3 generators done. That's more than 3 gens done. That's them all doing 3 gens and then making their way to the next one. So just so you're aware, like I know I get really nitpicky about like saving like a few seconds here and there and like a minute here and there, but it's a big deal, dude. Like when you start to like rank up and play against survivors that really like do the objectives and they don't like fuck around and they just get shit done, a whole minute is like that's the entire game. That's the entire game lost. That's 3 generators. That's over half the objectives gone. So it's a really big deal. You really need to get downs and force people off generators. That's just like mat pressure 101. That's like basics of killer 101 is just getting downs as fast as possible, getting people off of gens as fast as possible. And you can't be like that was a free down back there and you kind of just let it go, which is really, really bad. You can't be doing that. Anyway, the good news is that you have her down in the basement and you're also like pretty high up on your stock, so you can pop your tier 3 pretty quickly. There's 2 people over here. Injured Ace and then this Nia. You got the Nia to drop the pallet, which is fine. You're going to let her go and chase this Ace. There are so many pallets down right now. I don't think you've kicked a single pallet this game. There's just a mess of pallets down. This Ace got a lot of distance on you too, so this is a really far chase. You're going to stalk him a bit. You're going to 99 it. Nice. That's like 99.99. Jesus, you almost popped that on accident. Okay, so your stock is like literally 1 tap to the max. These guys are probably not in basement anymore. Looks like they ran out the back here. You can down this guy. Oh, why'd you pop that? You should not have popped that. That was a mistake. This dude was injured. He was already injured. You didn't need to pop your tier 3. He was already going to go down. Yikes. It's so weird that you like didn't pop your tier 3 against the full health Claudette earlier, but then here you do? Against this guy that's injured? You down him, and then there ends up being more people, which is nice. But even these guys are all injured too. Like the 1 full health guy isn't even here. So this tier 3 is just a complete waste. So weird. So you're going to leave that guy on the ground and you're going to chase this guy, which isn't a bad play. This is not a bad play at all. This guy does have no mither though. So it might be worth it to hurry up and hook him. You're not going to though. You're going to go back. Okay. Honestly, right here, I can understand why you make this mistake if you are a newish killer, because you might not really know like timings of things, but you just downed that guy like maybe like 5 or 6 seconds ago, and then you down this guy, and I think there's a hook right beside you too. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure yeah, there's a hook right here. Like you down this guy like right on a hook. Like this hook's right here. Yeah, like you're under it. You're literally under a hook. You can pick this guy up and hook him. That would take like 6 seconds. Just pick him up, throw him on the hook, and then go back over here. And this guy will either A, not be picked up in time because it takes like, I don't know, like I think it takes 16 seconds to heal, and then like let alone like the recovery. So this guy shouldn't be healed in time. And even if this Claudette does like commit to it and heal this guy, then they'll both be like pretty close to you, and you'll be able to down one no matter what. So no matter what, if you would have picked this guy up and hooked him, you would have had time to go back and get at least the ace, if not the ace and the Claudette, depending on if the Claudette tried to heal or if she ran away. So like this was actually kind of a mistake, and especially because this guy has no mither. And again, if you guys don't know what no mither is, it's the perk where you can pick yourself up from the down state. So like if you don't go back for that guy, he's just gonna get up, and then all that time that you just spent chasing him was basically a waste. Okay, you're gonna this is actually okay. If you take the ace back to that guy, okay, this is actually okay. This is actually okay. This is also I was gonna say the only other way that this would be okay is if you hook the ace, carry the ace back towards the David, and then go back for the David, which you did. Never mind. You did fine. That was perfect. Never mind. Either one could have worked, but this one also worked out just fine. Just gonna throw it out there. You did great. Your tier 3 is about to run out. You could go for this. Oh, you might. Nice play. That was really good. Good. Your tier 3 was almost out. I was gonna say this pallet isn't that good, but you can maybe like it isn't that good for survivors, so you can maybe get a hit here, and you played this perfectly. You gave her a nice little mind game. She fell for it. Easy down. That was a perfect play, honestly. And your tier 3 is about to run out. This is a really good play too. You're leaving this guy on the ground to go back for the unhook, which is really smart, because usually the way games go is like this is if someone's on a hook and then someone else gets down, it's just like instinct for the survivors to instantly go unhook the guy that's on the hook, because they assume that you're going to pick that guy up and hook him, right? It's just kind of like how survivors play. They just instantly do that shit. So you immediately like turn around and look at the hook. This Claudette's going for it. You can just down this Claudette. She has borrowed time. Don't chase that guy. She unhooked him earlier and she had borrowed time earlier. This is a waste. This is a huge waste. I mean, you could hit him to make him mend, but you're not gonna down him. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. See, like, this is where it gets sketchy because they could pick up the Nia. Oh, they're going for it. Oh, you can down these guys. Yeah. This is good. This is good. Yeah, go after that David. Nice. You could almost end the game right here. What I think what you should do is honestly, it might seem weird, but I think what you should do right here is you should hook the David because, okay, right here, you could have potentially ended the game, okay? Because this ace, okay, there's two people down and they're both this way, right? They're both this way. This David has no mither and this ace is like the one that gets away. But this ace, he goes that way. So he goes like the opposite direction of the people that are downed. So like here, let's see how this plays out. See, the ace goes towards Shaq and then you down this David, right? Now, I don't know where the nearest hook is. So it's kind of a gamble because I don't think you saw a hook either. But especially if there's a hook, if there is a hook back towards Nia, you can pick up this David, okay, carry him back towards the Nia, hook him, and since he's the one that has no mither, he's the only one that you really can't leave on the ground. So if you take him back, hook him quickly, and then if you can go find the ace, it's GG. You can chase the ace, and he won't have time to go get a go get a heal or an unhook, and you'll be able to 4-man slug and just end it right there. The only person that you can't slug is David. So if you hurry up and put him on a hook, it's over. Instead, you go for the Nia. This is. Again, I think you maybe could have ended it. Like this hook you probably could have used. Although it was kind of past the Nia. So really in hindsight, he might have been able to heal the Nia. So I don't know if that would have ended the game or not. But it would have been close. Even right here. Right here, you can end the game. Just chase down this David. Unless this David can pull like a really cheeky play on you, this should be GG. Or unless like a Kobe happens or something. Wait, is this just a 4K? Wait, don't leave that guy on the ground. He has no mither. Wait a minute, what are you doing? He has no mither. What are you doing? That's GG. All you gotta do is hook him. Wait a minute. Wait, what? No, stop. Are you afraid of DS? Oh, this guy had Unbreakable. Oh, see, well, that's just Unbreakable. That's unlucky. I mean, I don't think you should have left that David on the ground. First off, that David was dead on hook. So you could have just picked him up and hooked him just in case someone had Unbreakable. But even still, this dude having Unbreakable was just pretty unlucky. That was you, for the record, you played that fantastically. Just gonna throw that out there. You played that absolutely wonderfully. That was like, as far as strategy goes, that was amazing play. Honestly, that was super good. You honestly got really unlucky that guy had Unbreakable because you played that pretty much perfectly. These guys all get up. You should be able to hit that guy. Nice. Glad you went for that. That Nia was going for the unhook. You could have went after that Nia. She was going right for that unhook. You should have went after that Nia. She's going to be able to get that unhook now. Wait, actually, she's over here. I thought she went for the unhook. Maybe I didn't see correctly. Maybe that was actually my vision messing up. Hold on a second. You down this David. You can't really see where she goes. It kind of looks like she's on the side of the unhook. It definitely looked like she was going for the unhook. I guess she ended up not going for the unhook, which is fine. You went for a swing here and you didn't quite get it. You kind of like backed out last second, which you never want to do. I don't think you would have got the hit if you hadn't done that, but just in general, you never want to like swing and then like back up in fear of pallet stuns. Just don't even worry about pallet stuns, dude. Like legit, just don't even care. Just don't even care about getting stunned. Just swing through pallets, full commit, you know? Either way, right here, I can't remember if this pallet's still up or not, but this pallet kind of sucks over here, so you can honestly chase this Nia if you wanted to. You're going to stalk her a bit. Stalk him a bit? Why are you stalking, though? I don't think stalking is the right play here. Everyone's injured, and you have so much map pressure right now. There's really no need to stalk. No one's going to be full health anytime soon. This is where all these pallets that are thrown that you didn't break earlier are kind of biting you in the ass because now they have all these little like safety spots they can run to. You're gonna go back to pick up this. I feel like right now you're just being indecisive. You have a really good, you have like really good map pressure, but you're just being really indecisive. Like here, like this is the time that you need to be on top of your game. Like this is when time is so important, right? You have a guy on the ground that's slowly picking himself up. You have a guy on a hook, and then you have 2 injured people that are both one hit, right? That you can down. And you need to just keep piling on the pressure. You need to get like another down or hook the guy that's on the ground or do something. And I feel like you're like walking around, you're stalking people, which is weird. You don't need to stalk them at all. They're all injured. No one's going to be healing anytime soon. There's really no need to stalk anyone right now. That's kind of just a waste of time, which it might not seem like a big deal, but like that's a little bit of time that you can spend catching up to them or getting hits on them. So instead, you're like wandering around. This David ends up getting picked up, or you go back and you're like gonna hook him, but then he just picks himself up, and then you leave and you go back for this ace. I mean, all in all, it could have went worse, but it definitely could have been better. You end up getting the ace. The Claudette leaves. You go after her. There might be a pallet here though. No, there's actually not. Don't know if he has borrowed time or not. I guess we'll see. He does. Well, she's gonna have to mend. You gotta go back for that ace though, like ASAP. Get it? ASAP? Because there's ace in the name? Oh, wait. Hey, Nia's here. Okay. Down to Nia. This is actually the way these guys are playing. They're playing like super altruistically, which makes this slugging strategy even better. Because like the second you walk away from a slug, all these injured people are just like hoarding on them like dumbasses. This David's here too. You can chase this David now. Yeah. This is fine. This is totally fine. This is not too much slugging for the record. This is perfect amount of slugging. You honestly could have committed to that guy. You could have. But this is also not a terrible play either. You're trying to find the ace. This is also not a terrible play because the ace is almost healed. So you're just picking him up to hook him. This is definitely not terrible, but you even could have committed to that, David, honestly. It wouldn't have been terrible because the Claudette had just mended and you know that she ran the way that ace ran. So they were both up that way. So you could have potentially found them both, but this is also fine. He's gonna run into a wall. Oh man, close. You gotta be careful. You're gonna end up. Oh, okay. You're just gonna be an Arky gamer. All right. He kept running, I think. Yeah, he kept running. There were scratch marks going forward. That's all right though. You come back for this Claudette, get it down on her. Yeah, you can just hook her real quick. They might heal that. They might heal that Nia while you're doing this. Yeah, they did. But that's okay because you can turn right around and go for him. That Claudette's dead. Good. You're going to go after these guys. They're heading towards Shaq, which is a bummer because that's a really safe tile. You're going to stalk them a little bit more. You're going to 99% your stock again. I mean, I guess that's okay to do because they were already at Shaq anyway. But again, it's just weird that you're prioritizing it. You try to go for a nice moonwalk-ish mind game where you hide your red light. That was a good try, but the dude just threw pallet. There's not really much you can do. They're just... What the fuck was that? I have so many questions about that. First off, why did this guy run at you if he didn't have dead hard? This looks like this dude trying to make a dead hard play. And then you didn't even try to bait it. Like, you, for the record, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you're ever playing killer like this and you run up to a survivor and then he instantly runs at you, if he charges you like a fucking rhino, 99% of the time he is dead hard. I think this guy probably did have dead hard and maybe he just didn't push the button in time. Because I don't know what the fuck this was. Survivors don't do this. Survivors don't just charge at killers unless they have dead hard. Except for this guy, apparently. I guess this guy does it. But this guy's a fucking psycho, dude. Because that was dumb as shit. I don't know what he was trying to do. So I guess he's down now. This David's teabagging near God pallet. That was a weird... I mean, I get why you swung there. You need to kick that pallet, man. I feel like... Are you doing like a no pallet kick challenge? How did this guy just... How did this guy just get caught at Shaq with Shaq pallet down? What the fuck am I watching? I just need to take a second and process this. For the record, this pallet, it's only slightly on screen, but it's right here, is like the safest pallet in the world. All this David had to do was literally just sit on either side of this pallet, and then anytime you get close, vault it. And then to even get close, you either have to go the whole way around this giant wall, or like through a window where it's very obvious. There's no way to catch a survivor that's just sitting at this pallet. But like instead he played the window? I'm so fucking confused. Like the play that you did, for the record, was actually like, it worked phenomenally in this exact scenario. But I want to tell you right now, if it wasn't for the fact that this David is a complete dumbass, that would have not worked. And against any like semi-decent survivor, you would have been wasting a bunch of time there where you should have just kicked the pallet and moved on. Like, this is one of those pallets that you need to just kick. You haven't kicked like any pallets this match, which is really odd. It's been a very weird game. You might have kicked like one or two, but very few. I'm just blown away right now, honestly. I'm blown away at that. The Nia's here too, which you see. She gets the unhook. What? Actually, she didn't get the unhook. You never even hooked that guy. He was just down. Okay, so you're chasing her down. This is also a really safe pallet. This is another one of those pallets where you shouldn't be able to get hits at if she's good. But again, she messes up a lot. You can hit that. If you would have pre-lunged there, I think you would have hit it. If you would have like hugged the wall and pre-lunge, I think you had enough distance here. I'm gonna be honest. Like this distance, like you see how she's not even like, she's kind of like away from the wall. Like she should be running like this. Instead, she's running like this. So like if you had just done this and then like started lunging when you hit like right here and lunged around the corner, you probably could have hit her here, honestly. You just kind of lunged like really late. I think you need to go like right here. If I was you, I would go back and hook this David. This David is dead on hook and he has no mithers. So he's going to pick himself up if you leave him. And he's also dead on hook, which means if you go hook him, he's just out of the game. And then it's just 2 survivors, 2 gens, which is no issue at all. You're going to go back and hook the ace. That's weird. He's going to pick, yeah, he just picked himself up right in front of you. Why wouldn't you pick up the David? That's really weird that you didn't go after the David there when he had no mither. I mean, they're both dead on hook, so I guess the same result happened. But you would have had a guy dead and a guy down. But now you have a guy dead and then these 2 are left up, which is very odd. I would have went after the David. Like, for the record, as the title implies too much slugging, I'm going to say that no, except for the no mither guy. Like, you're slugging a perfect amount. Like, you're applying, you're taking advantage of their mistakes by them being way too overly altruistic by slugging and taking advantage of it, except for this no mither dude. You just have to be aware of that perk and the fact that he can pick himself up. Dude, you never, there you go. My God, you do not kick pallets very often. That is so odd. Now you start kicking pallets though. This is where it might be a bitch, because this Nia seems like she's actually semi-okay, which means she might be using all these pallets really well. If you would have... Okay, this is another reason why I tell you to literally not give a fuck about pallets. You didn't like hardcore respect this or anything, but you did a little bit, okay? I'm gonna show, if someone's watching, you might not even realize exactly what happened, but right here, you should just be hugging this wall, taking the fastest possible route, and just like trying to get as close to her as possible, right? You kind of like come up and then come out a little bit. Like you kind of do that, right? You don't like hug the wall. You kind of like come out a little bit. And I think it's to like maybe avoid the pallet stun or something. I'm not sure why you did it, but you should just be hugging the wall of the loop the entire time. You should never not be hugging the wall of the loop. Like you always want to hug the wall of the loop. Had you done that, you would have got a hit right here. Like you kind of, it doesn't seem like much, but you just taking those like couple steps back gives her the distance that she needs to do one more loop. Whereas if you would have just kept going and hugging the wall, she would not have been able to get this loop. I promise you. Instead, she does get the loop. Like you would have been able to hit her just barely had you gone through that pallet without taking that like step back. Then she goes to this pallet, and here we go again. This is like the struggle of playing against good survivors on like strong maps like this. It's just pallet after pallet after pallet. But luckily, you got so much map pressure early game that you're actually okay to do this. It would take this other survivor over 2 minutes to do both the last 2 gens solos. So this is actually okay to do. This is like the only time where it is good to chase an okay, or good survivor on a strong map. But again, you left a lot of pallets unkicked, so there's going to be this pallet's actually kind of weak. This is one of the pallets that you can play, like after it's thrown. I don't know what. Yeah, +5 metal. I don't know what the point of that was. See, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with you kicking that pallet. Oh, they keyed. Oh, they keyed out. That's just really unlucky. That's just super unlucky. There's not really much you can do about that. They kind of just keyed out. There's not really anything else. I mean, I don't know, man. You played this really well. Like all around, you played this really well. I mean, you played this like really well considering how these guys were playing. Again, like weird things like this Shaq play and the fact that you aren't kicking any of these pallets is really weird. Like this Shaq play just really threw me for a loop, honestly. I can't even find it again. It was just like the most bizarre thing, honestly. Like I still can't believe what the hell happened here. This was the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Why this dude did not just hug the pallet and instead try to play the window on you is beyond me. This guy is very bad. Anyway, I I think as far as strategy goes, I think you played as amazingly. There's definitely some very, very, very minor mistakes, but if you are newish to killer, this is very impressive. Your grasp on spreading map pressure and like your kind of like your game sense as far as like predicting their altruistic plays is really good. Really, 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 really good. Like you didn't even have Hex Ruin, man. You didn't even have Ruin. And like the gens did not get done. Like they got done early on whenever you took that like minute chase against that Claudette. Like that was a big mistake early on. But after that mistake, you just started playing really well. You started like slugging. You started like snowballing map pressure. They couldn't get on gens because there was constantly people down and hooked, and they had to constantly be healing. This is like the perfect example of a killer that's keeping up good map pressure. I do think that the only reason you were able to keep up map pressure so well is because the survivors were kind of donks and kind of just ran around like doing really terrible plays. Like these, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, these survivors played terribly. They played awful against good survivors. It's really hard to get like slugging going as any killer that isn't like Nurse or Billy or Spirit. Like any like normal M1 killer that gets looped is really, 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 really hard to slug against good survivors. But like at the ranks that you're at, and even at high ranks, honestly, you get a lot of survivors that make a ton of mistakes like this that you can take advantage of with slugging, like you did. So it's really good that you're like practicing it, you're getting good at it, and I think this is a really good example of how much slugging can do for you. Really, the fact that like the only reason they lived is because of that key. Had they not had that key, they would have died 100%. You absolutely shit on these survivors, quite frankly. You completely took a dump on their chest, really. Like they got fucked this match. The only reason that they lived was because of that key, and that was just really unfortunate, and there's not really much you can do about it. Key plays are just kind of insane. They're just like a very niche situation, and if they happen to get there, it's just like, well, like not really much you can do. Just like a what are you gonna do situation. But yeah, I enjoyed reviewing this. Thank you for submitting it. I hope you guys like learned a thing or two about slugging. This is again really good. I hope it opened your guys' minds a little bit to like the strategy around slugging and compiling map pressure, because I think it is a really important part of killer. I think had you not slugged here, well, not only do I think, I know for a fact, had you not slugged here and just instead like down hooked over and over again, you would have 100% lost. Like they would have got the gens done. Also keep in mind that these guys played like they were Survive with Friends, which I'm not usually the type of person to like call out survivors for being Survive with Friends. I personally think that that's a cop out that a lot of killers use whenever they play badly. They just like blame Survive with Friends, which I personally hate. But that being said, I do think that this team was a Survive with Friends based on how altruistic they were playing, as well as like this organized, more so this organized key play at the end. Like it was very obvious that they like were communicating that they had a key and they found Hatch, and then they both jumped in Hatch at the same time. Like that was a very clear, at the very least, this David and this Nia are a duo at the very least, if not a 4-man. I don't know. And I think this is also a really good example of how to kill Survive with Friends. Everyone's always bitching about Survive with Friends and how OP it is, but like a lot of the times you'll get Survive with Friends that play like this that are just super over altruistic, and you can just take advantage by slugging and just playing killer well in the way that it's meant to be played. So thank you for submitting this. I hope you guys watching learned a thing or two, and that's it for the review. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Remember that you guys can submit footage yourself by joining my Discord that's linked below and sending me a DM of your footage. Make sure that the video quality and the audio quality is good, and that the game quality is bad, like it was a bad game and not just like a complete blowout, so that way I have something to talk about. And thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and all that jazz if you guys like the video. I know I'm not doing these as much as I used to, but I still plan on doing them here and there. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your night. I'm out of here. Take care. See ya. I'm out. See ya.